Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another New World Guide. My name is Riofacer, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get all of the components to make the legendary resources for endgame crafting. Now, we are going to start with Phoenixweave, work our way into Asmodeum, then into glittering Ebony, and finally, we'll finish it off with the good old Runic Leather. Without further ado, make sure you hit like, comment, and subscribe. I love making New World content, and these guides are a lot of fun for me to make. I stream every day on Twitch if you want to go check us out over there. Or just throw a subscription down to the YouTube channel to be known when we make another video. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright guys, so let's start off with Phoenixweave here. How do we make Phoenixweave? Well, I'm going to be honest, I don't really have to tell you. The recipe is right here, and I'll tell you where you guys are going to be able to find scale-cloth and blister weave, as well as wired weave. But infused silk should be pretty self-explanatory at this point. To get infused silk, you need fibers for linen. Then you go to sateen. Then you go to silk. Then you make infused silk. So at the end of the day, this should be pretty self-explanatory if you're watching this video. If you're not, I recommend watching, a couple other videos on how to, create infused silk. It's pretty easy. However, to get infused silk, you do need wire fiber, and that means you need to farm wire fibers. But on top of this, you get scale cloth and blister weave by farming wire fibers, but you need luck gear. Now, with the recent changes to the patch, or if you're just watching this in the future, if you have PvP on, you see my little U in the bottom right there, if you have PvP on, you actually get extra harvesting luck. I do believe it's 10% extra harvesting luck, just all around. So that could be applied to mining, not just they use the word harvesting, but it's actually just for resource gathering in general. So make sure you have that PvP on, and as long as you have luck gear, the right luck gear, I should say, you can farm scale cloth and blister weave in many locations. In Brightwood, you can come out of Brightwood, this entire area, starting right here. Once you get to Wolfboro, you go south, and then south of the fort, down to here. This entire area actually has wire weave, and it's probably the safest place to get any. Reason being, it's a very low level area, so you don't even have to be max level to start farming this stuff. Will you have luck gear or, if you're a low level farming it? Maybe not, maybe you will. I don't know. But if you're a lower level looking to get into, the markets early, well, then you could farm in Brightwood. The only thing about this is the spawn rates are about once every 30 minutes, so I don't really like those. Where do I go for my blister weave and wire weave? Well, wire weave, excuse me, not my wire weave, scale cloth. I head over to Blight Crown. Now, if you go through this entire area over here, this entire area right here has a ton of wire weave. Now, this is where I go for mine. The thing is, these mobs over here are very annoying, and you actually have to, use your shift key. You can't just, AFK and hope to farm these. You actually have to fight them, or use a little bit of, that de-aggro that this game always has. So if you want to find that stuff, you can come up here. But essentially, this is where you get your blister weave and your scale cloth. All right, guys, next up we have Asmodeum here, which is the crafting material for smithing at 200, and it requires 5 orichalcum ingots. That's going to be 50 ingots in total, because you could make 10 of these a day. 10 tolvium, 10 cinnabar, and 1 obsidian flux, or 10 obsidian flux. Now, obviously, the recipe is what it is for 1. I'm just giving you a generalized recipe because when I do my cooldowns, I try to at least do 10 at a time if I can. But where do you get orichalcum at this point? I could show you 2 spots. You farm your iron, then you do your steel. The star metal, I usually, real quick, I usually go to Weavers. These mountain ranges, and this area over here has a pretty good star metal spot. Same thing with Restless Shore. Over here is a pretty good star metal spot. Then after you get the star metal, because I'm not making this into a how to smith guide, this is for the end game stuff. Orichalcum. Now you need to farm orichalcum for the chance to get cinnabar and tolvium. Now it's the same concept with Phoenixweave and wire fiber. You need to farm it with mining gear on, okay? It has specifically be mining luck. Now, you should be doing this with your PvP on. It just makes it so much easier. You don't even need mining luck. I mean, at the end of the day, you should stack your luck. But if you have no gear at all, just turning PvP on gives you a base percentage of luck, which is awesome to work with. Now, I'm going to show you the one route that I do, but I will tell you there are other routes, so you can Google these, you can YouTube them, find them online. Shattered Mountain is another place where you can even de-aggro mobs in a solo player situation and, farm orichalcum over here. Personally, I don't go all the way up to Shattered Mines. I just stay in Ebonscale because I like Ebonscale. What I do is I'm going to put it right here. I start over here. I go to the shrine, Lover's Shrine. I didn't even know this is called Lover's Shrine. I go to Lover's Shrine, and I start out in the air shrine. There's about 5 to 6 orichalcum veins in here. Then I come from the top, work my way through, come all the way down here. Then we work our way to the water shrine, okay? Water shrine has another 4 or 5 ingots. Or veins. You get these over here. Then we go through here. There's a couple in this mountain pass, and there's a lion cave over here that has like about four more veins. When I'm done with that, I waddle my way all the way to this shrine. Well, usually I go back to, I usually use, this is where I use some Azoth. I go to Ebon Scale, use my Azoth portal, come here. And then there's so much in Dynasty. Just this entire area of where the Dynasty dungeon's supposed to be in the Imperial Palace. There's so much, whether it's on the shores, inside. There's just actually a lot of options over here. Now, depending on who you are, you might not be able to solo it. I've just seen people actually struggle with this. If you can get a group, it's ideal. If not, not a big deal. There's ways to get around it. There's going to be a couple veins that you do have to forfeit, though. Or if you have a friend, get your friend to, you know, maybe, you know, aggro a couple mobs for you while you sneak the veins. So, but that's the route that I do. I hit Ebon Scale every single time for that, as well as the Obsidian Flux. Those you just get from the higher level chest areas. So, you know, Shattered Mountain with Merc Guard. I even think Great Cleave might give you some in the Elite Zone area they have up here. But basically, any Elite Zone area will give you that kind of stuff. And that's how you cut the good old Asmodeum. All right, guys, this one's a personal favorite of mine just because, for whatever reason, I find logging to be the least of my chores when I'm playing this game. But we have Glittering Ebony. Now, how do we get Glittering Ebony? You're going to need Ironwood planks, Wildwood, Barbvine, and Obsidian Sandpaper. Now, Wildwood and Barbvine, same thing applies. You need Logging Luck gear. I think you guys are starting to get it now. Logging Luck gear, and you're going to be farming Ironwood trees. Now, if you don't understand where to get these, here we go. Ready? Weird wood can be found. You're going to need to make weird wood planks. How do we get weird wood planks? Either over here in Brightwood or my personal favorite spot, which I think is actually better, over here in Eden's Grove. Farm these dogs, get their wood. Bada bing, bada boom, you got weird wood planks. Now, when you got the weird wood planks, ironwood. There are a couple ironwood spots. There is one right here in Shattered Mountain. That is pretty good, depending on how you do the rotation. There's also a spot, I believe it's Restless Shore. If you go actually right here to this Elite Zone level 46, there is an entrance to the very center of this place. And it actually spawns like 7 ironwood trees all in one spot. So if you just want to sit in one spot, I actually recommend this. It's a very low-key area. Actually really cool for the game too. But you should definitely go check that out for ironwood. But my favorite ironwood spot, just go to the shrine, start on the far side right here near the crumble trap, and all the way over to the Fertile Crescent. This entire area has ironwood, and you farm ironwood. Now, as long as you have luck gear on, you have a chance of getting wildwood and barbvine. And these are the 2 main materials that you need to craft what is known as Glittering Ebony. Now, what's nice is depending on your economy, and this is something I should have mentioned previously in the video. What's nice about this is depending on your economy, sometimes it's more worth it to sell the components of said legendary over the actual crafted tier 5 epic resource itself. I know that sounds like a weird concept, and I don't know why that is a thing, but it also is, I think, because you can use these components to craft gear. Maybe that's not level 600, but it makes crafting high gear, like high tier gear between like 550 and 580 much cheaper, depending on what you're doing. So I think that's why sometimes you'll see some discrepancies in the market when it comes to the final product versus, you know, the legendary resource. But if you're looking to get Glittering Ebony, that is my recommendation on where to farm ironwood, and make sure you have that luck gear on, and as always, make sure to have PvP gear on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Runic Leather, where I will now read you the recipe and tell you where to find all of this good stuff. Now, for Runic Leather, we need 5 infused leather, or 50, 1 smolder hide, 1 scarred, and 1 aged tannin, or tannin, whatever the hell you want to call it. Now, I'm going to just basically show you where to find smolder hide and scar hide. The rest of this should be pretty simple. You could look up any leather videos to find out about infused leather, layered leather, all that good stuff, and where to find thick hides, iron hides. Well, we're going to focus on the very end game. So, let's go to the map here. Smolder hide and scar hide. Where do you get them? Now, I'm going to show you guys 2 of my favorite spots. Now, if you go over here to Eden's Grove Genesis, this dungeon over here, there's a hill with a shit ton of boars. Just kill them. Have skinning gear on. Skinning luck gear with your PvP, as always. and just take 30 minutes to an hour of your day and skin all of the boars that you can kill in this general area. This should net you tons of smolderite and scarred. I think personally that this is the easiest one to farm out of all of them. Like, so easy. You also get weapon XP out of it. So bring yourself a new weapon that you want to level up, kill some boars, and get your smolderhide and your scarhide. Now, if this is packed, or, you know, there's just PvP going on over here because it's a very common area, which I will say I am on a smaller server. So if you're on a smaller server, a nice little double, you know, a double crouch and a little a slash wave, maybe you can make some peace and, you know, you get your farming done. I've done that many times in the past. Shout out to the boys who never killed me over there. But you can also go to Shattered Mountain, and if you travel, I believe it's right here. If you travel to this outpost, and then you go south towards this little lake, there are bison here, as well as wolves. These also drop smolderhide and scarhide. So these two spots on the map will give you what you need in terms of Runic Leather requirements and smolderite and scarhide. Yeah, Runic Leather, pretty simple, pretty easy. Probably the cheapest of all three, at least on my server's economy. Like I said, it'll depend on yours. But people definitely, I think this is the most easy and accessible resource to get. All right, guys, and the last tier 5 epic resource that we're going to talk about today is something that you unlock at 200 stone cutting. Unfortunately, I actually don't have it yet, but I'm still going to include this in the video because I think it's worth mentioning. I think this is the least common one known, mostly because you don't need this until very, very, very max level, and until you're even running, you know, Lazarus Genesis, which is kind of what my group just started doing recently. Essentially, it's called a Runestone. Now, how do you get the Runestone? You need to make Obsidian Voidstone. Okay, so how do we make Obsidian Voidstone? Really quickly, you go up here to Obsidian Voidstone. You actually unlock this at 150 stone cutting. It takes lodestone bricks and a little bit of lodestone. But what you need to get is these Lumi lodestones, shocking lodestone, blah, 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 something lodestone. How do you get these? You get these by farming motes. Generally, the only way to do this is by mining. And you're going to be able to find them off of the Scorched Stone, the Earth Crags, the Shock Spires, the Soul Spires, the Spring Stones, the Blight Crags, and the Life Jewels. I would tell you where to find them, but I'm going to be honest, it's probably just easier for you to click the interactive map down below and type in which one you're looking for, and just go look for it yourself. They're literally everywhere. I'm not even kidding. You can find them everywhere. The only thing you need to have on is luck gear, the appropriate luck gear, and it's going to be mining luck gear. So just make sure you have that. But you need to have these Obsidian Voidstones and these Rune Stones for, you know, some end game content. Now, if you're wondering why you need these runestones in the first place, like I said, they're to make Genesis tuning orbs, any tuning orb really, but I mean the ones that you're going to be probably doing at the end game, or, you know, maybe in the future when they come out with more dungeons. Right now, it's Genesis tuning orb and the Lazarus tuning orb. So you need to have this if you want to make your own orbs. Now, you can't actually sell this stuff, so you're going to need your own orbs. So I recommend if you're going to ever level anything up, at least level up your stone cutting, which is something that I screwed up on, which is actually my project that I'm currently doing, is leveling up my stone cutting. Right now I'm only at 140, but you know, we're getting there. I hope this guide helped you guys. These are basically all the things that I could tell you to get you started on getting these end game materials. Now, if this information helped you, I would appreciate if you could like, comment, and subscribe on this video. I come out with a ton of New World content. I at least try to put out one good guide every week on top of some entertainment videos with that. I stream almost every day live on Twitch too. Link in the description if you want to come check us out live. But it would mean a ton if you just come by and say hi, or if you want to ask some questions, feel free to ask me live in the chat room. So otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this video helped you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. So take care.